today, like I want to talk about controlling what you can control and how to potentially even scale some of your renovation operations. One of the biggest frustrating parts that we hear every time I talk to investors, REITs, institutional buyers, companies is the renovation side for a number of reasons. One, contractors don't call people back. It's more expensive than we thought it was going to be. I don't know where to start. What's a good deal? I don't know many, like all the different questions that come around that. And for you as real estate investors, I really have boiled it down. There's three different ways to manage your renovation. The first one is to project manage it yourself. This is going to be the cheapest option for sure. It has some drawbacks because if you are like me and you've ever done this before, all those questions and all those pain points I listed just a minute ago, those are real and they happen on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day. So though you might be saving yourself money by PMing it yourself, you might be increasing your heartache or your heartburn or your Tums budget, you know what I mean, as you are trying to figure out how to go and navigate this process. A frustrating part about that is on average, if you're not doing this on a regular basis, there is a certain capacity that you're able to have where you start confusing it or getting disorganized or tripping over it, or you can't be in two places at one time. So though you can save money project managing your renovation yourself, it does have some drawbacks. The second option that typically is there is to hire your own project manager. The tough part about this is, as somebody who's hired hundreds of project managers over the last 10 years, it takes some time to find the right one, and then it takes some time to train them. Not only like once you get a good one, you want to keep them. The tough part about that is what happens, on cost effectiveness. So the amount of projects they have to be running to be able to earn their keep. Well, what happens if you don't buy enough projects or get enough deals in that month? All of a sudden, you as a business owner and investor have a little bit of a question mark of like, okay, how many months can I do this where I can still afford my own project manager? Though they are loyal to you and they are working their butt off for you, which is amazing and which I always think is best, there are some drawbacks that come to that as well, particularly from an overhead cost, as well as volume, training, and finding the right person. The third option, and this is what I want to talk to everyone about today and give you guys some wisdom in this, is to partner with somebody that does what we do. For us, like to find somebody who has what I want to share with you here. And the first thing I will say, the biggest difference when you are looking to partner is one, is it a partnership? Is this somebody that's going to share their wisdom, going to share their connections? When you're interviewing contractors or contracting firms, is this somebody who's going to open the books and let you know, okay, here's exactly what it's going to cost us to do this. Here's exactly how much time it's going to take. Here's exactly what we expect. Here's when we can actually show up. And that all starts with this. I believe that accountability is a reality when I've got my own boots on the ground. I have learned the hard way is sometimes, I might have trades. I might have a well-meaning person or a well-meaning vendor that tells me, yeah, it's done. I'll send you a picture. And guess what? I show up and that picture lied. It might have been a picture from another house. It might have been a picture from somebody else. And I learned the hard way that the only way for somebody to have my best interest in mind, both financially, stewardship, and quality, right, is if they're my people, if they're my dollar. And that's expensive. I have a multi-billion-dollar payroll across the country to ensure that I'm able to be consistent. And so when you are talking with people about who you can partner to potentially help, be a pressure relief valve for you or help you scale your business, making sure that they've got their own W-2 people on the ground matters. The only way that I was going to be able to make the right decision on what needed to happen is if either one of my employees were there or I was there myself. So the problem is hiring your own people and being able to have this accountability. It's expensive. It's sometimes hard to scale. You've got volume fluctuations. So the only real answer, in my opinion, especially as you're starting out, either you're starting out or you're scaling your renovation operations, is strategic partnerships. That I spend more time and energy on leadership development, casting visions, training, and bonusing my team to make sure my field teams understand why we're doing what we're doing. And by doing that, it allows all the people that we swing hammers for, all the clients that we renovate for, to take full advantage of that same thing. So I'm going to give you a couple free advices, that things that I train my people on, that I want you to take, whether you partner with me or not, or whether I'm even able to, because I'm not in your markets. But here's a couple things. The first one, and this is the biggest one, right, is to know what your win looks like. Right, knowing what your win looks like before you even step on the field to start swinging the hammer. This is going to inform all your understanding, all your decisions, your full understanding on how this project progresses. This funny, back in the day, our team, the big metric was be under budget, right? And I'm here to tell you unequivocally that is the worst metric that you can by far ever try to drive your renovations for. Not because I'm a proponent of spending money, because if your goal is to be under budget, you'll be under budget. And guess what's going to suffer? Your quality, right? And your project is 100%. Probably your timelines are going to suffer if all you're trying to do is chase the almighty budget. So early on, here's a mistake I learned. We were renovating a lot of 1920s bungalows here in the greater Tampa Bay area. That's where I'm from. Most of them, if you've ever renovated here, those type of projects, they look super cool in pictures. I mean, they're super sexy to the investors because they've got that craftsman vibe. They are 100% held together by termite excrements and whatever red tape or caution tape the county has put on them, because they're very aged in a subtropical climate that doesn't really work out too well. So we're way behind on this project. We bought it. It's my job to renovate it. And everyone just kept saying, if you could just be under budget, this would get us a win, right? So I think I know what the win looks like. Get under budget. Well, it was time for me to have my quartz guy come out to give us the quote. And he was backed up, and hey, it's going to be 10 days, which that's going to, like, my hold costs are going to be here. I'm like, you know what I can do? Because I was just chasing under budget. I can go get some laminate tops made in a day. I've got a guy right here. He's ready to go. It's going to save me 2 weeks. I'll save a couple grand. Everyone's going to think I'm the winner. This is going to make everything look great. Man, I'm feeling high. I get I kick the quartz guy to the curb. I get my laminate tops in. I get the house clean. I get the picture, the cameraman in there to take all our pictures. And then about 3 days later, I get the ugliest email that I've ever had from our dispo team. What did you do? I was like, well, last week I told you, 2 weeks ago, I told you I was going to be under budget by X amount. It saved a couple grand, right? And I was going to get it to you a couple weeks early, and you guys were excited. Yeah, but our comp was for houses that had either quartz or granite. Like, now we can't list it for this price point because we don't have quartz or granite. And I remember, like, yeah, but you told me you just wanted me to be under budget. Well, that's what we wanted, but what we really wanted, the real win, is that we were going to get this project done in this time that would look like this. And I remember going from hero to a zero, like, overnight, and learned the most valuable lesson. Like, I saved my company a couple grand and cost my company about 15, right? So knowing what that win is before you get in there, that's going to inform everything. And here's the crazy thing, guys. As leaders or as business owners and real estate investors, if you don't understand what that is, I promise your team is clueless. If you don't know what that win looks like, your general contractor they're just going off of their own map. Trust me. We used to say it all the time. If it's a mist in the pulpit, it's a fog in the pews, right? That means they can't, if the preacher doesn't know what he's talking about, I guarantee you nobody else does. So I think as leaders, one of our first steps to controlling what we can control is making sure the win is clear as day. Then everything points to whether or not our decisions are going to get us to that goalpost. We say all the time, in control what you control. There are 3 things in a renovation, that you can control, which is speed, quality, and cost. Here's the deal. This is the ugly truth. You get 2 out of the 3, always. If you want it done fast and you want it to be quality, it's going to cost you. If you're trying to, not spend as much and you want it fast, it's going to probably be subpar quality. Or if you really are looking for quality and you want it at a cheaper cost, it's going to take you forever to get it done. So as you're thinking about all these things, like, of those 2 out of the 3, like, what is the most important? Here's what I'm going to tell you is the most important. and this is what I bonus all of my people on. Their metrics are all based around this one particular thing. I get to cheat a little bit because I do so many deals and I spend so many tens and twenties of millions of dollars a year on labor and material and supplies. I kind of get 2.5 of the three. But in my opinion, the most important thing for me is speed. Speed matters the most because that is what I can control. I can't control how the market's going, right? I can't control if the neighbor sells their house too. I can't control acquisition appetite or disposition schedule, but I can control how fast I get that job done. I can control how many days then it's on market, or at least it's in renovation. That helps me control my carrying cost, HOAs, utilities, all the above. That's the one thing that I can do as a renovator to help set the deal up on the dispo end for future success. We have a metric on my team called DPT, or days per thousand spend. We tell everybody all the time, like, if you are going to qualify for any bonus within me, you have to meet your speed qualifications or your DPT qualifications. I don't care if you did 50 houses and they were all slow a month. If you did not hit your speed, then you were not aiding me and helping me control what I can control. It's funny. One of my clients, this is probably late 2022, early 23. They were a national REIT. They had just brought about 10,000 doors. They were trying to build the ship mid-flight and did not have any boots on the ground. So they were struggling. Their executive vice president was chasing dollars, right? Trying to find the cheapest that he could do to get it, but could not figure out why their move-in dissatisfaction was so high, why they had so many work orders that kept coming in, why every renovation was late. And so that meant their occupancy was low. It was a mess. I have a conversation with him and he was looking at my pricing and he was like, well, you're about 5 to 6% more expensive than what I'm used to paying. And I'd say the age old thing, and I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but you get what you pay for, right? So I said, here's the deal. Give me 20 houses. If I don't save you more time, get your properties done right, reduce the move-in work orders, and eliminate your stress, that you'll never have to talk to me again. We'll shake hands. I'll do these 20. We'll be friends, and I'll buy you a drink next time I'm in town. I think we did a little over 1,800, almost 1,900 homes for them in a year and a half, because he learned the lesson really quickly that speed and quality matters more. Those are things that you can absolutely control. You get what you pay for. Headaches, time, frustration. For me, like, we build our emphasis. I make sure my win is abundantly clear with every single one of my trades, my vendors, my internal crew, my PM and my foreman. And the biggest thing that I've learned, right, in all of this, it's a win has to be a win for everybody, right? If our acquisitions teams get a win because they bought a bunch of houses, but those houses don't perform and I don't have enough money to renovate them, like, that's not a real win. If it's a win that my electrician got in there and did his stuff, but he stepped all over the new flooring and he knocked over the paint and he chased off the landscaper and never turned back a call for the project manager, that's not really a win. Teaching everybody how and why we are moving in this direction, showing them what the goalpost is, emphasizing the things that matter, which are speed and quality. Man, when everybody starts moving in that same direction, your trades, the people buying the homes, your disposition folks, right? Your broker, your wholesale, whoever it is you're moving with, like, if that win is cohesive, man, I promise that is a game changer in your business. I would say this too. So in that control what you control, if you don't have a huge team like me, that's okay, right? Not a lot of folks do. I will tell you, the biggest REITs in the country spend tens of millions of dollars on their renovation and turns and maintenance teams because it's a pain in the butt. I'm not expecting anybody here to be one of the big real estate investment companies that are out there. What I'm saying is, as you are learning to control what you can control, you can build yours, which is beautiful. If you've got the deal flow to do it and you're leveraging other partnerships, that's amazing. And I would give you any of my secrets that I could do. If you're not at that place right now, finding a renovation partner you can trust to grow with is a big deal. Because if we're going to control what we control, we need to partner with people who are not only going to know how to navigate the parts that we're unsure of, but are willing to be a guide through the process. They understand, hey, you pay your bills on time. I can share my wisdom with you. Boom, this is a match made in heaven. And I'm not saying that for everyone here that we're the renovation partner for you, but I do believe that for some of you, we might be the right partner that you could trust to help you take control of a growing future.
Thanks for listening to the DealMachine Real Estate Investing Podcast. Please leave us a review and follow along wherever you're listening to your podcast.